Okay, guys. So in the previous time, we were talking about the interference, right? Now we will continue talking about interference and solving past paper questions about the interference, okay? We did this question in the previous time. We talked about the interference of water waves, okay? In water waves, like the question or like the video that we watched at the previous time, this way. If I have two sources, two coherent sources, they produce sound waves like, produced as water waves. Here we have a region where the waves meet constructively, right? So the amplitude enhanced or add up. Here a region where the waves meet destructively, so they cancel each other, so there is no disturbance. In our exam, guys, we will have a question like this, and we are asked to draw the possible region where where the waves have maxima, where the waves have minima. Maxima means what, guys? Means constructive interference, and the amplitude adds up. وهير هذا destructive interference. Guys, to have constructive حكينا اتفقنا انه لازم يلتقي peak مع peak او trough مع trough. الديستركتيف لازم يلتقي peak مع trough او crest مع trough. As what I mentioned before, guys, these solid lines that are drawn here, will show what? Will show the position of the crests. يلا خلصنا. Okay, guys. This solid line represents what? The crests. The space between the crests, guys, represent what? The trough. So here, the point where these lines intersect, yani where crests intersect, this line shows maxima. This line shows what? Maxima, because it's an interference or overlapping between crests. Look to this point, guys. In this region, this solid line, right, interfere مع trough. This is a solid line, this is a crest, interfere with trough. Here, solid line, look to this solid line, interfere with trough. This solid line interfere with trough. So in this region we have what, guys? We have a minima, because here we have a crest with a trough. Any question about that? This line is a crest, right? Okay, Amir. This space is trough. Crest with a trough. minimum.
trough.
كريست
اوكي
صح مع ترف.
اوكي
صح راح
أوكي،
يعطيني
فهمت.
مينيمم. اوكي سو بهاي الريجن، يعني بهاي المنطقه، هاي كريست مع ترف مثلا.
يعني destructive هون يعني.
ايوه هون عندنا ديستركتيف بالضبط.
اوكي.
يعني هون هاي كريست مع ترف، كريست مع ترف، كريست مع ترف، كريست مع ترف. فهاي الريجن شو راح تكون؟ مينيمم. كلير؟
اوكي.
طيب any question guys about that؟
استاذ لو كان عندي لا انا two different waves بس يعني بس كريست ميت ستراف بس يكونوا different amplitudes برضه بيعمل cancel out to each other ولا؟
بس بصير مينيما، بس this minima يعني مش complete cancellation، بيعمل reduction in the amplitude. Resultant amplitude will be less than the amplitude of any of these waves, but we don't have complete cancellation.
اما اذا كانوا نفس الامبليتيود they cancel each
Yes,
other out.
exactly.
Okay.
Okay. قلنا انه to observe this بدنا triple tank. We have to draw it like this: light source, shallow water tank. We discussed that before, صح؟ طبعا transparent. Here guys, this is the screen. This is what? The screen. We observe the interference of these waves. They should be these dippers, guys. These dippers, if you see them, these dippers, they should be connected to the same vibrator. Who knows why? Coherent, guys. To be coherent, they must be coherent in order to produce waves. او عشان اشوف الباترن هذا، عشان اشوف الانترفيرنس pattern, they must be coherent. They must be coherent. Look to this question. For a progressive wave, state what is meant by the period. It's the time, right? Taken for the wave or for the for one complete oscillation. For one complete oscillation. Wavelength, guys. طلع definition of the wavelength now. It's the length between two successive points that are oscillating in phase. يعني like a crest with a crest, a trough with trough. Here we are given two waves, wave P and wave Q. The speed of waves is 20. Calculate what the wavelength of the waves. Guys, in order to find the wavelength, I have to find the frequency. I have to find what? The frequency, because the speed is given. This is displacement versus time. This is displacement versus time. From displacement versus time, I can find the period, guys. البيريد هاي البيريد طلعوا هاي one complete oscillation. So the period 0.60 seconds. The frequency 1 over period, so it's 1 over 0.60, 5 over 3 hertz. So I can substitute here directly. 20 over 5 over 3. So I will get 12 centimeters. What we are asked later, we are asked about what? The phase difference. The phase what? Difference. Just give me a second. Okay, guys. We want to determine the phase difference. Please pay attention to this, guys. Between these two waves. In order to determine the phase difference, guys, I have to use this formula. Pay attention. Let me remind you by this. T is the period, right? T small هي shift, right? Shift in time طبعا. Here I have to consider two equivalent points. Pay attention. Two equivalent points. يعني which means peak with peak, trough with trough. These are the most obvious or most clearly identified points. Let's consider a crest with a crest. This crest with this wave P, with the crest with wave Q. This is the shift in time, okay, between these two peaks. Clear? Let's find this. One, two, three, four, five. This is 0.1, 0.12, 0.14, 0.15 صح؟ This point 0.15 time. With this point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 هي 0.3 0. what 35. Okay guys هيها لهون 0.3 0.32 0.34 0.35. so shift here قد ايه t 0.35 minus 0.15 which is 0.20 تبعتنا yes عشان يكون اقدر اطلع الفيس ديفرنس otherwise بتصير complicated. فهي 0.2 over البيريد قلنا 0.6 right times 360 I think بيطلع 60 صح 30 6 120. Okay guys, now what we are asked to find intensity of wave Q over intensity of wave what P. According guys to the relationship between intensity and amplitude, is that clear? Any question about that? Okay. So intensity of wave Q, amplitude, this is the amplitude of wave صح P يعني AP equals 3 millimeters و Q 2 millimeters. Guys, if you have any question, please ask me. AQ اتفقنا 0.2 over ايش 0.3 squared ولا 2 3 I think لا 2 3 sorry. Any question about that, guys? So it's 4 over 9. هلا the two waves superpose, right? The two waves as they pass the same point. Use figure 4.1 to determine the resultant displacement at 0.45. Resultant what? Displacement. From the graph, where 0.45? Look here, guys. 0.42, 0.44. This is 0.45. This is the displacement. This is the displacement of wave Q. This is the displacement of wave what? P. Okay. So a resultant displacement, guys, as what we mentioned before, a resultant displacement of P plus displacement of what? Of a Q. P كانت negative 3 و Q قديش ما طلعناها صحيح. We have to find the Q. 1, right? Q is 1. So negative 2. هلا الانترفيرنس of sound the same thing guys, the same thing. But here we don't have two slits. We will have, like the water waves, two sources. These sources connected with the same generators or sound generator. Rama, why these two sound loudspeakers should be connected to the same sound generator?
عشان يصير
Excellent.
coherent
عشان يكون عندنا
waves.
coherent waves. So I can notice at certain positions there is a maxima, at certain positions there is ايش a minima, or loud, quiet, loud, quiet, loud, quiet. يعني if there is someone is moving, طلعوا معي guys. If there is someone is moving along yx, he started hearing the sound loud, quiet, loud, quiet, loud, quiet. Loud as a result of constructive interference of the two waves that are outgoing from these two loudspeakers reaching this point, where the path difference here, if it's loud, the path difference, they are meet in phase. Quiet, this means they are meet anti phase, and so on. Any question about this point, guys? Okay, your next homework will be, you have to do the questions from page 102 to 100 to 104. Okay, نيجي للquestions تاعت الباست papers. State three conditions that must be satisfied in order that two waves may interfere. هلا عشان يصير عندنا interference أول شيء إنه هاي الwaves must meet or overlap, right? Must meet or what? Overlap in order for interference to take place. ايش السكند thing guys عشان يكون عندنا wave interference او اشوف observed pattern للwave interference? They must be what? coherent
أتوقع
100% عشان اشوف هذا الانترفيرنس pattern.
كون نفسهم.
هلا في اشي هون احنا كان بالاولد سيلبس موجود انه يكون عندهم same polarization.
بس هذا مش معنى هلا صح؟
polarization بس لازم يكونوا same polarization. لازم يكون عندهم ايش؟
امبليتيود
same polarization. بس هذا already is cancelled out.
امبليتيود ما بفرق.
لا الامبليتيود ما راح يفرق معنا لانه اتفقنا if they are equivalent amplitude or if the waves have equivalent amplitude I will see complete cancellation. If they are not equivalent I will see ايش reduction in the intensity, reduction. بس راح يبين معي bright with dark. راح يبين معي ايش bright with dark. Okay guys, any question about that? Clear? Okay. Now here we have a double slit experiment like this. These are double slit. This is a screen distance A. The apparatus illustrated in figure 4.1 is used to determine what the wavelength or two sources interfere is used to demonstrate two source interference of interference using a light. Okay, هلا same type. Okay, same what time. اوكي دي فعليا مش لازم تكون coherent هاي same time. Okay guys, pay attention here please. طلعوا معي شوي. Look to this question again. والله sorry I did not read the question. Here state three conditions that must be satisfied in order to waves may interfere. أنا in the previous time قلت لكم هلا تذكرت إنه إذا عشان يكون عندنا interference pattern. والله ركزوا معي. If you still have any question, ask me. هلا guys to see or to observe interference pattern يعني dark bright dark bright dark bright, the waves must be coherent. But as a condition for interference يعني ممكن هلا احنا if you have light sources in your home now or in your room, there is an interference between these light sources, but I cannot see the interference pattern because the source is incoherent or the sources are not coherent. فهمتوا الكونسبت؟ هلا if the condition for interference لازم meet same type و same polarization. If the question about interference pattern, the light must be coherent or the sources must be coherent. Is that clear?
Can you define coherent?
Yeah.
Can you define coherent?
Coherent guys انه two waves that have the same phase shift or waves that are outgoing from the source عندهم نفس الphase shift. يعني اعطيكم هيك let me give you an example of coherent. Let's say if I have a coherent source, the coherent source can be, if I can give you an example, like a gate. There are some guys that are outgoing from this gate. Let's say first one he's outgoing from the gate. The second guy is outgoing from the gate after 3 seconds. The third guy is outgoing from the gate after also another 3 seconds. هيك بنحكي كأنه الwaves أو هدول الجايز are outgoing from the gate coherently. شو يعني coherently؟ عندهم constant phase difference أو constant phase shift. Clear? والlight source the same thing, if I can say that. إنه light source is emitting waves with constant phase كل مرة، يعني كل مرة ببعثها بفيز بنفس الفيز. يعني أول wave خلينا نقول هيك roughly speaking if I can say that. أول wave بعدين after quarter period second wave after quarter period third wave after quarter period fourth wave and so on. Clear؟ هلا
يعني two waves يكون عندهم نفس الفيز شيفت.
ايوه كل الويفز عندهم نفس الفيز شيفت. يعني لو اخذت two successive waves الفيز شيفت بيناتهم quarter period.
اوكي.
no matter
two light sources صح؟
هلا لو كان عندنا الراندوم اول واحد بيطلع ب1 سكند، الثاني ب3، بعدين ب4، بعدين ب1، بعدين بيطلعوا مع بعض، هذا اسمه راندوم فيز. هلا الليزر كوهيرنت، اللايت سورسز العاديه انكوهيرنت. اوكي فهمتوا شو what is the mistake that I did in the previous time؟ انه اذا كان الكونديشنز فور انترفيرنس بس in general interference in general right الwaves must not be coherent. يعني خلص هذا interference. انا بحكي عن general concept. انا sorry in the previous time يمكن ما قراتش السؤال كامل. if we are asked about interference pattern عشان اشوف dark bright dark bright dark bright لازم يكونوا ايش؟ coherent. Guys if you have a question please ask me now. The separation between the slits, double slit arrangement is A. Interference fringes are viewed on the screen distance D from double slit. When the light wavelength lambda is incident on the double slit, the separation of the bright fringes on the screen is X. Okay. Now, the separation of the two slits in the double slit arrangement in the interference suggests a suitable value for A. طبعا guys هذا suitable value we have to memorize it as it is. هو من 0.3 لتقريبا 3 ملم. هذا الرينج تاع السيبريشن الsuitable value. يعني it's kind of estimation we have to know it. Write down an expression lambda a dx. قلنا هاي الفورمولا. I may write it like this. lambda dx over a ولا ax over d. sorry صح. I think so. ليش ناسيها أنا؟ Write down expression rating lambda ax over d. This is the expression, or I may write it like this: x equals lambda d over a. Okay. So here, look to this tab of questions, guys. Here we want to describe the effect, if any, on the separation and on the maximum brightness of the fringes when the following changes are made. Okay, describe the effect, if any, on the separation and on the maximum brightness. يعني we are asked about separation between the fringes with maximum brightness. هلا the brightness, guys, depends on several things. The intensity, if you remember, depends على amplitude and distance, right? Amplitude and distance. والseparation هلا شفناه قبل شوي، قلنا اللي هو x بتساوي lambda d over a, right? Lambda d over a. What will happen here, guys, to the separation? If I increase d, what will happen to the separation? هاي الفورمولا طلع على الفيلم. Increase. From the formula, guys. Hey. Yes, exactly. Doubled. Why? Because the relation between x and d is direct proportional. What do you think? What about the maximum brightness? لا
برضه راح تزيد. مو بتقول لي and distance.
هذا inverse.
هاي
guys انتبهوا. الintensity proportional للامبليتيود direct. احنا ما غيرنا amplitude. وللdistance inverse. فالماكسيمم برايتنس شو بده يصير فيها؟ decreases. ليه decreases؟ لأنه ال distance is ايش؟ is increased. Any question about that, guys? It depends على two parts. على الامبليتيود. Yes, you are right. وعلى الديستانس. صح؟ الامبليتيود هذا دايركت.
صح.
والديستانس هو ايش؟ inverse. يعني if you have a light source او let's say مثلا your mobile flash. هلا if you move the mobile very close, let's say to the disk or table disk, the brightness increases. مع انه same amplitude, you did not change the source, but you will observe more focused light. هلا if you move it away from the desk or the table, the light will be distributed along larger area as a result of this increasing in distance, so the brightness decreases. What will happen here, guys, to the wavelength here? The wavelength, come on. Okay. Here we increase the wavelength, صح؟ فايش رح يصير بالbrightness بالseparation من الفورمولا x equals lambda d over a. If I increase the separation, or if I increase the lambda, what will happen to the separation? Increases, right? By 1.5. What about the maximum brightness? شو رأيكم؟ بتضل زي ما هي. Who has another answer? طيب guys, if you remember here, let me remind you by something. انتوا عارفين انه احنا عندنا شيء اسمه double slit, صح؟ Right? From the double slit, the waves are spreading out. And they interfere at certain point here, which is the screen. Okay guys, هلا if I increase the wavelength, يعني احنا let's say انه lambda هون equals A, صح؟ عشان يكون عندنا maximum spreading أو maximum diffraction, صح؟ If you remember this, do you remember this? Okay guys? Guys, any question about that? طيب عشان يكون عندنا maximum spreading of the waves, لأنه كل ما زاد spreading of the waves معناته more waves will reach here. مثلا more waves will reach here, more waves will reach here. إذا قلل spreading sorry, what did they say? Sorry, إذا زاد spreading sorry بصير عندنا diffraction هون. يعني I will observe diffraction pattern هون. Sorry, I said something wrong. صح؟ إذا زاد spreading معناته راح يكون عندنا fringes here, fringes here on the screen if the spreading is increased. If I reduce the spreadings يعني قلل spreading هون, بطل في عندنا كتير spreading, يعني صار مثلا spreading هيك بس. في part من الwaves هدول will be reflected هون. بطل كل الwaves يعملوا spreading, صح؟ في part من الwaves they are reflected. فشو راح يصير بالbrightness in this case? Are you with me guys? بتقل. خليني بس عشان أذكركم بشغله. هلا احنا عندنا 3 cases. الكيس الأولى إنه lambda less than خليني أرجع. let me rephrase everything. أنا أذكركم فيه. lambda less than the size of the gap. Next time I will show you guys a demonstration or simulation about that. Lambda more than the size of the gap. Lambda equivalent to the size of the gap. Here guys بيكون عندنا less diffraction. Right? وهون بيكون عندنا maximum diffraction. إذا lambda أكثر من size of the gap برضه رح يكون عندنا less diffraction. ليه less diffraction؟ لأنه هون بصير عندنا يعني خلينا نحكي عندنا يعني significant amount of waves will be reflected. Okay guys, يعني خلينا نحكي dominant
reflected ولا diffract؟
يعني هلا احنا هون لما بيجي الويفز هون اذا كان السايز تاع الجاب او لامدا اكبر من السايز of the gap, right? If the lambda more than the size of the gap بصير عندنا reflection اكثر. هون guys at this boundary طلعوا في part هون بصير reflection, هون عندنا part بصير له reflection. part بصير فيه له ايش؟ diffraction. تمام؟ if the wavelength اكبر من السايز تاع الجاب الرفليكشن هون بصير اكثر. let's say انه number of waves that pass through the gap رح تقل. You got my point? Guys, is that clear? as a result of that إذا صار عندنا less number of waves that are diffracted, less number of waves, شو بصير بالbrightness؟ decreases صح؟ ليش؟ لأنه هون عندنا more waves will be reflected back. So less number of waves will reach the screen. Okay guys, طيب last thing I know that the class is finished بس خليني أخلص هذا البارت وخلص. Separation, if I increase D, if I double this the intensity too high, yes, the intensity of the light incident on the double slit is increased. الintensity increased. ركزوا معي، الintensity ايش؟ increased. شو بصير بالseparation؟ nothing. ليه؟ لأنه x equals ايش؟ lambda d over a. هاي الإيكويجن ما فيها intensity. شو بصير بالماكسيمم برايتنس؟ increases أكيد، ما احنا زدنا الانتنسيتي، البرايتنس ايش؟ increases. Is that clear guys? Okay guys, here in this formula we don't have any quantity that is related to the width of the slit. Separation of the fringes stay the same. Right, stay the same. هلا ايش راح يصير بالبرايتنس تاعت الفرنجز؟ لا guys, let me remind you again بالديفراكشن. احنا حتى in the previous time we introduced this. Oh, I wrote it. Wait. Here guys. If I increase the size of the gap like this, lambda more than lambda, what we will get? We will get less diffraction. What does this mean, guys? And if I have less diffraction, instead of the light to be spread on a larger area like this, it will be spread in a smaller area. Okay, if I have, again guys, listen, let's say before changing the width of the slit, the light spread out along the edge or among this area. The light spread out among this area. If I use wider slit, this means less diffraction. If I have less diffraction, if the area where the light is distributed is less, معناته the intensity becomes more, because the intensity equals power over area. Power over area, right? If I use wider slit, this means we will have less diffraction, so the light is distributed among smaller area, so it becomes more intense. It becomes more intense. Is that clear, guys? Then how more bright? I will write now the reason. Because the light
أستاذ بالفرنجز قصدهم ال distance between dark and bright regions.
Let me, I will answer you. Let me complete. So the light is distributed among smaller area. So it becomes what? Intense. The fringes, X high, guys, X between two adjacent bright fringes or two adjacent dark fringes.
Okay.
Okay. طيب. هلا the brightness of the dark fringe nothing. لأنه الدارك احنا crest مع trough. طلعوا please guys. This will be what? 0. Okay. طب if I increase the amplitude برضه it will be 0. Okay guys.
يعني هو بس يقل الديفراكشن بزيد الامبليتيود.
لا no matter. هلا هو ما راح يتاثر الديفراكشن الدارك 1 مش موضوعي الامبليتيود بس انا قصدي in another thing يعني انا بس I want to show you something انه dark fringes it won't be affected by anything لانه حتى even if we increase the amplitude or decrease the amplitude the resultant amplitude will be ايش؟ 0 right.
طب بس بالديفراكشن ايش بيتغير على الويف نفسها ان الويف لينث او الامبليتيود؟
لا ما بتغير شيء على الامبليتيود
والويف لينث
ولا الويف لينث.
اوكي.
لا انت عارف ليش بصير يعني ليش بصير مور برايت هون؟ احنا حكينا هون مور برايت. المور برايت هو ايش اللي صار؟ اللي صار انه هون وصل مور ويفز.
انه بس الانتنسيتي تبعون الويفز بس
انه صرنا يعني وصل مور ويفز فاحنا كل ويف بتيجي let's say if I can say this انه crest with a crest another wave another crest another wave another crest another wave another crest فالcombined amplitude will change but the outgoing amplitudes of the slits will not be changed. Okay. Guys, if you have any question, please ask me. Here, another question. State 3 conditions requires for maxima to be formed by interference pattern. حكينا هون أول شيء the waves must meet. Or overlap. They should be in phase. They should have the same type or same polarization. Well, they should be coherent, صح? Okay. The source must be coherent. Any question about that? Guys, same type. نسيت يمكن احكيها المره الماضيه. حكيناها same type in the previous question. Same type, you know what is meant by same type? يعني transverse.
حكيت لنا انه مش داخل بالسيلبس معنا.
لا انا بحكي على هاي same polarization مو داخل بس انا قصدي same type يعني يا transverse مع transverse او light مع light يعني there's no interference between light and sound. There is no interference between مثلا light waves و water waves and so on. طيب هون this is an interference pattern. طلعوا شفتوا الفرق؟ طيب هلا هون what we are asked about it's an easy stuff here. We are given that microwave emits frequency 12 gigahertz. Show that the wavelength is 0.25. Wavelength equals velocity over frequency. Velocity for the microwaves is 3 times 10 to the power 8. For frequency, guys, giga, don't forget. الجيجا is what 10 to the power 9, right? 10 to the power 9. This will be, guys, pay attention to this question, to this part. Here, two slits, S1, S2, are placed in the front of microwave source M described in B as shown in figure 5.1. Clear? Guys, look at this question, please. The distance S1O and S2O are equal، صح؟ لأنه السنترال اتفقنا يعني هاي S1O وهاي S2O، هاي path S1O و S2O. Microwave detector is moved from O، هذا الديتكتور moved from O to P هيك. Distance S1P is 0.75 و distance S2P 0.90. The microwave detector gives maximum reading at O, which is expected لأنه اتفقنا central maximum. State the variation in readings on the microwave detector as it's moved slowly along the line OP. Who can give me what will happen here? What does the microwave, or what will the microwave detect from O to P؟ صح؟ يعني راح أشوف المين concept تاعي إنه I will observe لأنه هذا السورس coherent. صح؟ هذا source what? Coherent. I will observe series of maxima and minima. يعني maxima minima maxima minima أو bright dark bright dark. طبعا هون ما عندنا bright dark بس in order to show you إنه they are the same. I will detect maxima minima maxima minima maxima minima and so on. What will I do now? First of all, I have to find the path difference at P اللي هو راح يكون S1P minus S2P. I have to divide it by the wavelength. This will be S1P 0.75 minus 0.90 over the wavelength, which is 0.025. I will get the value of 6. What does this mean, guys? This means إنه الباث difference at P، الباث difference at P هو 6 lambda. هو 6 ايش؟ lambda. Let me remind you by this. Do you remember this, guys? احنا هلا نشوف البرايت. كم برايت سبوت راح اشوف؟ هلا هاي اول one، the first one او the first maximum راح يكون maximum عند 1 lambda. Second maximum عند 2 lambda. Third maximum راح يكون وين؟ عند 3 lambda. Fourth, fifth, sixth. معناته انا كم برايت سبوت راح اشوف هلا، او كم كم ماكسيمم او كم ماكسيمم راح اشوف؟ Yes, exactly. I will ايش observe 6 maximum. ليه؟ لانه كل ماكسيمم راح تكون عند 1 لامدا، صح؟ كل ماكسيمم راح تكون ايش at 1 لامدا. فبيسكلي هون راح اشوف انا 6 مينيما و7 ماكسيمم.
واستاذ عند او بيكون 0 يعني؟
بالضبط. ليش؟ لانه انا عندي 6 ماكسيما غير السنتر. فهمتوا علي؟
اوكي.
اوكي
وين
جايز.
بتوين بيكون عند 6 مينيما.
بالضبط، وان بتوين رح يكون عندنا 6 مينيما. يعني احنا فعليا رح نشوف 6 مينيما، we will detect 6 مينيما و7 ماكسيما. المينيما او الماكسيما ليش 7 مع راما answered me انه 6 فعليا هو 6 plus the central one. تمام، فبصير عندنا 7 ماكسيما. طبعا هون لما بيطلع معي 6 لامدا at p، سوري نسينا نكتبها هاي، the waves meet in phase، صح؟ So at p there is a maximum. اول شيء اتفقنا انه احنا we will divide the actual path difference على lambda، صح؟ خلينا نتفق على هاي اول شيء. اذا طلع معي integer معناته هاي ايش هي؟ maximum، صح؟ او bright spot. اذا طلع معي odd integer over 2 معناته هاي شو بدها تكون؟ minimum. تمام؟ طيب اتفقنا كيف الاوردر؟ في عندنا اوردر للبرايتنس، هاي السنترال، صح؟ هاي السنترال خلينا نقول هاي اول برايت او هاي اول ماكسيما، هاي ثاني ماكسيما، third maxima، fourth maxima. نحطهم 1 2 3 4 5 6. صح؟
كيف عرفت إنه تحتيها بتكون؟
ثواني
في هاي السنترال؟
هاي السنترال، هاي السنترال سوري، بس انا عشان معي في سبيس. هلا انا كيف عرفت انه عندي 6 ماكسيمم؟ لانه طلعت عند بي ايش طلعت؟
6 لامدا.
بالضبط 6 لامدا، فعندي معناته 6 ماكسيمم. هيعدوا معي count with me please guys. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. right 7 ماكسيما. in between مينيما راح يكون، صح؟ هاي مينيما، هاي 1 2 3 4 5 6.
السنترال بيكون برضه ماكسيما.
طبعا دائما سنترال ماكسيما. تمام؟ هلا انا I wrote that before انه اذا بدكم تطلعوا قديش عندنا ماكسيما او مينيما، يعني هون I wrote it before بس هلا I explained it now. هلا I can go back to it. Clear. اوكي طلعوا معي هون. If I want to find ايش؟ a number of minima between center fringe و any point on the screen، باخذ ال path difference على مين؟ على ال wavelength. الماكسيما كيف بحسبها؟ plus 1 يعني ال path difference، صح؟ over ال wavelength plus ايش؟ 1. Is that clear? Any question guys? Now microwave source M is replaced by a source of coherent light. ركزوا معي، يعني شلنا المايكروويف source والمايكرو wave source is replaced by coherent light. This means انه as you know انه المايكروويف wavelength more than the wavelength of what؟ اللايت، صح؟
كيف عرفنا انه اكتر؟
We have to memorize this stuff، حكيناها صح؟ انه بالالكترومagnetic waves او electromagnetic spectrum the wavelength of the microwave will be greater than the wavelength of the light. طيب state two changes, pay attention, that must be made to the slit in order to observe an interference pattern. طيب guys, before this, what can we do for the slit? يعني شو ال possible changes away from the
نظبط.
question? بالضبط، يعني شو ال possible changes للسلتس؟ إما نغير السايز separation، يعني distance between them. يعني ال possible changes that I can do for the slits, two things: either change the width تاع السلت أو separation between them. Clear? طيب guys، عشان يصير في diffraction هون, what I have to do with the size of the slit? Exactly, عمر. Since إنه ال wavelength تاع اللايت less than wavelength تاع الميكروويف، معناته size تاع السلت must be less than the size of a slit for the microwave. تمام؟ فهون I have to reduce its its size أو width، خلينا نقول أحسن. So طبعا مش مطلوب هو هذا السو، بس عشان when you go back you can بتعرفوا ليش احنا هاي. So the light، أو خلينا نكتب هيك to match أحسن، ها to match its wavelength or the light wavelength, sorry, the light wavelength. تمام؟ كلير؟ عشان يصير عندنا ايش؟ diffraction. بتعرفوا قديش الراديو ويفز تقريبا الويف لينث تاعه، ترى المايكروويف سوري الويف لينث تاعه تقريبا 1 متر او اراوند ال 1 متر. يعني انت بتحكي عشان تعمل diffraction لمايكروويف بدك سايز تقريبا 1 متر. اللايت الويف لينث تاعه 10 to the power -7. يعني no way for the light to diffract through a slit of 1 meter, no way. نرجع للفورمولا x بتساوي لامدا d over a، صح؟ عشان اشوف، عشان يكونوا clearly separated، ما هم if they are very close. Listen guys, listen please, pay attention to this, please pay attention. If they are very close to each other, the fringes, they will be overlapped. So I will not observe any clear interference pattern. صح ولا لا؟ إذا كانوا very close رح يصيروا overlapped، ما رح يبين معي الدارك من البرايت من هاي الأشياء. فأنا شو لازم يكونوا clearly separated، صح؟ to increase separation between them شو لازم أعمل بالسايز تاع السلت؟ sorry, separation between the slits.
x هو ايش كمان مرة؟
X هو distance between adjacent fringes. Here I have to reduce also what? Their separation. هلا احنا عندنا مثلا هاي برايت، صح؟ هاي دارك region، هاي برايت dark bright and so on. تمام؟ clear guys؟ طيب إذا احنا كانوا هدول كثير close لبعض، يعني هيك، إذا زدتهم أكثر شو بدهم يصيروا؟ overlapped، صح ولا لا؟ إذا قللت separation، سوري مش إذا زدتهم. هذا الإكس. If I reduce X more and more, the fringes will be overlapped. If the fringes are overlapped, will I see pattern? يعني will I see dark, bright, dark, bright, dark, bright?
لا.
لا، صح؟ عشان هيك كل ما زدت السيبريشن أنا أكثر separation sorry separation between الفرنجز كل ما بين معي الانترفيرنس باترن اكثر. فانا بيسكلي بدي ازيد الاكس عشان يبين معي الانترفيرنس باترن، فبقلل الايه؟ احنا بنقلل احنا we will reduce السيبريشن، مش راح نزيد.
بنقللها عشان نزيد separation between fringes.
ايوه بالضبط، هاي الفورمولا هي من هون صح، هم inversely proportional صح؟ they are inversely proportional. Any question guys? Shall I repeat ولا it's clear? طيب. What is the principle of superposition؟ حكينا when two waves meet the resultant wave or the resultant displacement is the vector sum of their individual displacements. تمام؟ هلا coherent light of wavelength 590 incident normally على double slit as shown in figure 6.1. The separation of the slits AB is 1.4 high A صح؟ millimeter. Interference fringes are observed on the screen placed parallel to the plane of the double slit. The distance between the screen and the double slit is 2.6 high D. At point B, the path difference is 0, so at drive slits from A and B. Determine the separation of the bright fringes near high. Okay, يعني بده X lambda D over A. لاحظوا ايش كتب لي هون. Determine the separation of bright fringe on the screen near to the point. يعني next one, next bright fringe. يعني بده X، يعني بده distance between two adjacent fringes. قديش اللامدا هيها given 590 nanometer. Don't forget nano. Distance 2.6 between the set and the screen over A, which is 1.4 times 10 to the power minus 3. 1.1 times 10 to the power negative 3 meters. لا تنسوا إذا مليمتر بتكون 1.1 صح؟ إذا بالمليمتر الأنسر بتكون 1.1. Guys, any question about that? Okay. Explain. Next question. Explain the principle of superposition. بس let me do this question guys وبعدين بنوقف. السوبر حكينا عن ال principle of superposition. هلا sound wave travels from source S to point X along the paths. طلعوا معي بالله. هون عندنا source of sound. This is what source of sound. هلا I have two paths for the sound. ركزوا معي. Two paths for the sound. Path 1 اللي هو direct SX وpath 2 هيو. طلعوا معي. Please pay attention to the screen. هاي path 1 هذا path 2 اللي هو it will go through SP reflected to X. This is path 2. Any question guys? Okay. State the phase difference between the waves. إذا عندنا minimum قد ايه phase difference لازم يكون؟ مين بده يجاوبنا؟ دينا. إذا كان عندنا minimum قد ايش الباث difference؟ دينا. اوكي طيب زاخر.
أستاذ.
If we have a minima or minimum or dark spot, what is the phase difference? Must be
odd integer over 2.
هذاك path difference مظبوط، بس بدي phase difference.
ما بعرف والله يا استاذ.
قديش انا شو كتبت؟ صح بدهم يكونوا انتي فيز. متذكر الانتي فيز؟ زاخر الانتي فيز جماعه قد ايه بيكون الفيز ديفرنس بيناتهم؟ يعني اني تو ويفز ميت انتي فيز بيكون 180 صح؟
180.
طيب زيد اذا عندنا ماكسيمم قد ايه الفيز ديفرنس لازم يكون؟
360.
360 بالضبط او زيرو
انا
او
كنت
اي
احكي
انتجر
صفر.
او اي انتجر راجلي. نقدر نكتب ايش؟
استاذ
نقدر
لا
نكتب
كيف يعني اي انتجر؟
يعني اي انتجر من 360 قصدي سوري يس اي انتجر من 360
اوكي.
او بقدر اكتب باي و2 باي صح؟ شو بتكون اليونت هون؟
ليرات.
اوكي اوكي زاخر. $320 over 400 حدا يحسب لي اياه بسرعه بالله. سبيد على ويف لينث سبيد على فريكونسي قصدي
0.8.
0.8 ثانك يو علام. هلا the distance طلعوا معي هون the distance is p px كذا distance 90 suggest whether maxima or minima is detected at point x. عشان نحدد اذا maxima او minima بدنا نشوف ال path difference صح over ايش over lambda. ايش عندنا هون؟ عندنا two paths. الباث الاول SPX والباث الثاني SX direct صح زي ما as what I explained before. over الويف لينث هي اتفقنا عندنا باث 1 هي باث 1 هي باث 1 صح. الباث الثاني راح يكون دايركت من اس لاكس. هذا 90 ديجري بايثاغورس باث 1 بيكون عنده 5 متر. ركزوا معي بايثاغورس باث 1 راح يكون عنده 5 متر فهي راح تصير 5 ماينس باث 2 7 صح. الويف لينث 0.8 حدا يحسب لي هذا قد ايه بيطلع؟ $2.5 I think.
$2.5
2.5 يعني 5 over 2 lambda صح؟ طب إذا كان الباث difference 5 over 2 lambda هذا constructive ولا destructive؟
عيد استاذ.
إذا كان الباث difference 5 over 2 lambda هذا constructive ولا destructive؟
constructive.
لا destructive ما احنا قلنا هيو طلعوا مينيما يعني رح يكون عندنا مينيما صح؟
صح لسه.
اتفقنا هون وين كتبناها؟ هي كتبتها أنا أكثر من مرة كلنا. هون هذا التست اللي احنا بنعمله الاكتوال باث ديفرنس. اذا انتجر بيكون ماكسيمم، اذا اود انتجر على 2 شو بيكون؟ مينيمم صح؟ تمام؟ جماعه حدا عنده سؤال ضروري تسالوني. هون بس اخذت الديفرنس بين الباث من اس بي اكس هذا الباث الاول والباث الثاني
أوكي.
دايركت من اس لاكس هذا طلعته بايثاغورس. هذا هاي
اوكي سهل.
بايثاغورس. اخذت الديفرنس. الباث الاول راح يكون 3 متر بلس 4 متر 7 متر
اوكي.
والباث الثاني 5. هلا I divide them by each other او I divide the difference على هون شو راح
على
نكتب؟
الويف لينث.
ايوه راح نكتب انه minimum since the waves meet antiphase as the path difference قديش طلع معنا؟ n plus half lambda صح؟ where they destructively interfere. Okay guys, any question؟ في تي هون.